tonight. Obviously, the first thing on my report we just talked about, the water line has been completed and everything is tied in and working. The bacteriology came back without a glitch in it. So everything on the Tammany Road now is being served by the main coming under 3rd Street up here, 3rd Avenue, or 7th Street rather, or 3rd Street. The line at 7th Street has been cut off and is pretty much abandoned. Once we get past, the expense of repairing the water line and get the bulk water that we've paid for, paid for, we'll probably want to take a look at digging that line up at the valve there at 7th and Railroad and putting a permanent cap on that line and not relying on that old valve to hold it back. We had to have an outside contractor because part of the stipulation with the permitting was that in the state right-of-way we had to have a licensed operator to do the excavation. And that's where that came from. But our crew worked every day right along with them, and everybody did a good job. They did a tremendous job getting it done. I want to thank Garten Trucking and the folks at the wastewater treatment plant for working with us and realizing that we had a difficult situation and allowing us to turn the water off every night after 9 o'clock to try to save some wasted water. And they were willing to do without water from the hours of 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. And what originally was going to be a week turned out to be closer to a month because it took us a while to get things together and move forward. So it was great that they were willing to work with us on that. And I just appreciate everybody's consideration while they were doing that. The second thing that I've got, and it goes hand in hand with that, we've talked a little bit about how difficult the budget cycle has been this year. It has been a horrible budget cycle. In fact, it's the worst one down here that I've ever had the opportunity to sit in on to try to come up with. Budget will be presented at next month's meeting. Council members, there's copies of the budget available for y'all, and there's copies here for the public to pick up if they'd like to see it before it's printed in the paper. I'm going to go over the budget just a little bit more in just a minute. But the one thing that we needed to make this budget work was to be able to retain the customer base that we had from Western Virginia Water Authority, the sewer customers that we transport the sewage from Botetourt to the treatment plant. And I had an opportunity to meet with their executive director last week. One evening he met me and we had a dinner meeting, and he shared with me that they very much wanted to keep working with the town, and we made an arrangement that they would stay the customers of the town, and they would abandon their efforts to go straight to the county and circumvent us, and they realized that we actually do need the revenue from them. So that worked out in our favor this time. So there will be some further meetings with them to fine-tune how all that contract and things are going to be dished out. Jared, you're going to have to be involved in some of that, and Richard and some of the other council members will have to be involved in that too, and then we'll have to present it back for a final vote. But we were able to retain that customer base that we needed to make our budget work this year. The other couple of things I've got, it's grass season. Grass is growing fast. You see houses that need grass letters, need attention, please let Wendy know. Let's not let it get to the point where it's so bad that everybody's ready to just have a fit. Let's stay on top of it and work with each other to try to keep that up. Two of the houses that council voted recently to put on the nuisance list, extensive cleanup efforts have been launched at both of those properties. One of the properties has actually changed hands and is now in control, I think, of a mortgage company, and they have started cleaning that property up. The grass is cut, the debris is gone, the abandoned car that was there is gone. So efforts are being made for that. And then the house down here behind Twinkle's drive-in, I realize that the effort they've put into that is all superficial yard work, but they've made a tremendous effort to clean the property up, and hopefully they're going to continue and move on through the house and make those repairs too. But they are both still listed on the nuisance properties for Jared to enforce if the cleanup efforts stop. So, okay. And while we're talking about cleanup, you know, Alleghany Highlands named April as cleanup month in the Highlands. Clifton Forge had a cleanup day last Saturday. It was a very successful day. They had approximately 30 volunteers that showed up, filled up maybe 35 or 40 bags of trash, and you could tell the difference. And I'd like to kind of see if there's any interest in anybody doing that down here. If we could get a group of volunteers together one Saturday morning or one evening and just walk from one end of town to the other and pick up the trash. You know, we could get the orange bags from VDOT and from the Chamber of Commerce. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, good idea.
Kawana, how do you feel about it?
That's okay with me.
Everybody on board with it, Jimmy? Okay. Well, I tell you what, let's do. Let's think about this, and we'll set a date at our work session next month, and we'll do it later in the month of May, if everybody's on board with that. Wendy, you'll keep me reminded of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The alleys, we know that the alleys in town need attention coming off of the winter that we've had. We just ask everybody to be patient with us. The town crew has been preoccupied with trying to get this water line situation fixed. It had to be fixed. It's costing us tens of thousands of dollars every month. It had to be fixed. Now that that's behind us, they can get back on their normal routine and get things cleaned up and picked up and mowing and the alleys fixed, and continue with the dump trailer at different places in town for people to put their waste and garbage in. And if you need the trailer at a specific spot in town, let us know, and we'll be happy to put it there. Let us know. And you can still get it at your house too, like we always have done. Recycling, we're coming down to the end of the recycling contract that we have with JRE. JRE is no longer in service other than to us in Alleghany County. I don't anticipate that we're going to be able to have a recycling receptacle here at Town Hall after the end of June because it's just cost prohibitive to do that. The minimum rental on a dumpster is $545 a month minimum. That's if you negotiate with them, and somewhere between $75 and $125 a month to dump them every time they're dumped. And we just don't have the funds to pay for that. You know, the county, I think, is looking to work something out with that, but recycling has become a cost factor for every locality in the area. Covington's got a contract with a private company out of Roanoke. Clifton Forge has a contract with a private company out of Roanoke. I don't know what Alleghany County is going to do I really haven't had that discussion with anybody there, but I can tell you from where I sat here, Iron Gate just doesn't have the funds available to do that. And the only place for us to generate any revenue is out of everybody's pocket. And we're already in deep pocket more than we need to be, or want to be, but if anybody has an option or an alternative or can come up with a plan, we're certainly willing to listen to it and present it and talk about it. But right now, I don't see an option, and Wendy, I don't think you do either, do you?
No, sir.
So, and I apologize to the residents and that use that and depend on that, but it's just cost prohibitive for the town. We have a budget in place. It's not a good budget. It's not a budget that I'm happy to present. It is a budget that a tremendous amount of work has gone into. To be honest with you, there were a few times when we didn't think we were going to be able to come up with a budget to present. There is no pay raises for any of our employees in this budget. The only thing that we're able to do for them is maintain their health coverage at the same level of coverage that we have at this point in time. The sewer stipend for the month that we paid Alleghany County increased per month $1,353.18. That's an increase, a tremendous increase in 1 year per month for us. We're going to present the budget. It'll be in the paper. No taxes are going up. Water is not going up. There will be an increase to your sewer bill to compensate for that raise in cost. And it's a break-even number. It is not a profit number. It's a break-even number. We're going up $5.75 per household on your sewer bill. And that's just a break-even number. We don't have any contingency money put back to do any repairs or anything. So we struggled to keep it as low as we possibly could. We had originally thought we were going to be raising it at least $7 per household. We found out that we had transposed a couple of numbers incorrectly, and we were able to wheedle that down to the $5.75. Like I said, it's a break-even number. Actually, it's really not a break-even number because we're still using some of our water profit to pay a small portion of the sewer bill every month. So we have some CARES Act money coming that are earmarked for infrastructure. My suggestion would be that we sit down and take a hard look at that and dedicate as much of that CARES Act money as we possibly can to getting this sewer cost under control and start with our worst problem areas in town and work our way out and try to, for every little bit that we can reduce the I and flow, the next time we get a new bill, that'll come off of it and that will give us more to put back into the repair of the sewer bill. We're in a bad spot. The sewer money has been a problem for the town for years. It's just getting worse as we go. The I is getting worse. There's nobody on the budget committee that's happy with this budget. But just remember, the budget that we passed or we offered y'all to pass, we got to pay the same thing too. Same amount of money's coming out of our pocket is coming out of your pocket. And we don't like it either. So, Kawana, you want to add anything to that?
Well, if anyone feels that this was not a break-even number, I will tell you quite honestly, that I had tried to encourage the budget committee to go up an even $6 or even $6.25, so we would have a little bit of a buffer zone. And Chuck was animate about not doing that because he said he didn't want to take any more out of the residents' pockets than was necessary, which is why there's this unusual number and not an even number. So we did do the very best that we could, and he balked me every option I gave to give us a buffer zone for the town, and he wouldn't do it. So kudos to him for that.
Well, that can be good, that can be bad, it might bite me later.
Well,
Ms. Nicely, do you have anything you want to add since you sat on the budget committee?
I was just gonna say, from seeing the little amount that we have to work with for the town, we still try to keep in mind everything will have to go out. So we're not taking away as far as benefits for the employees. We're not raising taxes, and we only had to raise what we had to raise.
And that's a true statement.
Yes.
And Wendy, your input, anything on it?
Well, I mean, we cut everything that we could possibly cut. I mean, everything. We started at the very top of that list and we worked our way all the way down. And I even went back through and found money that I didn't think that we could cut, and we cut it anyways. So this is definitely a break-even number. There was nothing else left to cut, and you know, it is what it is, and I understand that it's in a tough spot for a lot of folks, but we did everything we possibly could to keep it as low as we did.
And hopefully our CARES Act money will help us with these sewer expenses before this time next year.
Yes, sir.
There's copies of the budget here, it's going to be printed in the paper.
And on the journal.
And then Alleghany Journal, and just so you know, I'm a little ahead of myself here, but we're presenting a budget for the general fund in the amount of $135,553. We're presenting a utility budget for this year of $267,520. And $174,500 of that is sewer treatment cost. So 2/3 of your budget is sewer cost. That's accurate, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Wendy? And there's really not much more I can say about that. So we'll present it officially and vote on it. We'll have a public hearing on it in May. Invite input from the community and from the citizens, and we'll vote on it in June to go into effect June 1.
Well,
July 1, I'm sorry. So, you know, we'll be happy to hear your comments, complaints, disappointments at the public hearing. At least you got a month to get them ready. So